All right, cool. GM everyone. Welcome to this episode of PEX live streams. And today we're going to be looking at Move. I'm joined here by Greg. So, Greg, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, let me first introduce myself. My name is Tony Olendo. I am a PEX co founder. Um, they gave me the title because I was in the same group chat when PEX was being formed. And um, Rahat is a very nice guy, so he just chose to give me the title of co-founder. But yeah, I'm OG on PEX, and this is my debut of my first live stream. But yeah, really glad to be here with you, Greg, and to learn everything about Move and Aptos and uh, uh, everything about that. So let's start with just an intro. You could tell people who you are, what you do.
Yeah, GM. It's funny. I feel like that sometimes. I'm a founding engineer at Aptos Labs. So I worked earlier on the Libra and DM blockchains that were based in Facebook. This is also my first live stream. I've done like Twitter Spaces with no video live streams.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so I used to work on the Libra and DM Facebook blockchains at Facebook, which sort of grew into the Aptos blockchain we have today. So I work on things like I worked in the networking before. Now I work on developer experience mostly. So things like the SDKs, the tools, documentation, and things that just help builders build on Aptos in general. And
Right.
I help. I also like people see me helping them on like Twitter and Discord, random questions and things.
Nice, nice. So, what does it feel like seeing movement coming from? Well, seeing Aptos from the very beginning to where it's at now. Like, what's that experience been like for you as a founding engineer?
Yeah, I mean it is pretty cool. I've never worked at a startup before, and I definitely actually never worked at Web3 before that happened.
Hmm.
Um, so when I left Facebook with the rest of the guys, and then we had this idea that we were going to take this permission blockchain and make it permissionless and launched in like 9 months.
Yeah.
And we did pretty well. So right in October of 2022, we launched. We started at the beginning of 2022. And it's been really cool to actually be in this world where I can actually talk to the users and see what their problems are and fix them directly. Versus
Hmm.
I worked at big tech before. You go through some account manager and a couple other people, and it's been diluted and whatever by the time it gets to you,
Yeah, for
which is
sure.
nice for your life, but doesn't it doesn't have that same feeling and that connection.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Corporate could get kind of draining, especially compared to like Web3, where things kind of move at kind of like the speed of light. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really dope. Yeah. Cool. So let's get started. Today, um, I'll start by saying here that I don't know much about Move. Don't know that much about Aptos. Just, I remember glancing at the docs earlier. I've installed a bunch of stuff, which is IntelliJ and a plugin, and I did a sample contract using the Aptos CLI. But this is a really, I'm a really good guinea pig for how easy it is to be able to get started with Move and how it works and all these things. So uh, Greg is gonna be well. I'm gonna share my screen now, and Greg is gonna help me drive as we get started with Move. But before we get into that, could you tell us like what is Move specifically, and what's the value proposition and how it functions? Here?
Yeah, of course. So Move is there's a lot of fancy words, uh, sandboxed, formally verified, and type safe language specifically built for the purpose of creating smart contracts. So when I used to work at Facebook, the people at Facebook actually spent a lot of time looking at the different languages that existed today for building smart contracts. And they realized that there was nothing that provided them the safety that they wanted, along
Yeah.
with ease of programming. So what they
Mm,
did was they took the idea of what most languages are and they shrunk it to be very simple. So you can actually check on the VM level, make sure the bytecode is correct.
yeah. Good.
You can
Yeah.
have a formally formal verification to prove it, and it actually provides this really nice way, actually, because it's so simple for like decompilation and other great things that provide like security properties associated.
Right.
So it also prevents double spends and It prevents things like reentrancy attacks and things like that.
Also, natively it prevents all those things.
Yeah, it prevents all those things, and it does it with a pretty good compiler as well.
Cool. I'm excited to look at the compiler. I fully understand what they mean by finding a gap in terms of a language that provided all of the features that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Imagine how
Yeah.
much money would have been saved in the Ethereum ecosystem if Solidity functioned that way.
Yeah, because I know a lot of times I've seen, especially I was talking to some more advanced Ethereum developers, the amount of times you go to writing assembly, inline assembly, just for the purposes of
Yeah,
performance and everything else. Because I think the Solidity compiler does a lot of checks for you, but you kind of have to like say no because the performance is too bad or the gas
the
cost
performance
is
is
too
bad.
high.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you check out like the most famous code base I checked out with that is the Seaport code base by OpenSea, and that was a lot of assembly, just to be able to get like the kind of efficiency that they were looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's funny. It's like making Roller Coaster Tycoon for the blockchain.
that's a good way to it's a good way to think about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to share that. So, um, uh, where do we start? I have IntelliJ here.
Yeah, so let's open up IntelliJ. The reason I told you to use IntelliJ is we have a very good plugin for
Mm-hmm.
Move.
Yeah,
Hopefully you installed that.
yeah, I did.
It it gives you auto completion and jumping to things and the stuff that IDEs generally help with. So
Yeah.
go ahead and click and create a new project.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope there should be a Move one on the left.
There should be a.
It's tiny to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to expand the ID, but it looks too small. I'm not seeing a move one.
Okay, then just pick empty project.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Wow. The zoom function doesn't work. Or
So
it works.
usually you can use the you can zoom with the mouse.
Yeah. No.
Okay. What do you normally use?
VS Code.
Okay, we can use VS Code.
You
I'll
want to
just
use
have to
VS
help you a
Code?
little bit more.
Okay. All right. That.
So there is a plugin for the VS Code, but I'm not a VS Code coder, so I haven't used it that much. So what
Yeah.
I will say is you can try that, but also keep a terminal
IntelliJ.
nearby to be able to
Yeah.
run it.
Yeah. So with VS
Okay.
Code, all I have to do is this, and you see everything is bigger.
Yeah. Apparently, JetBrains hasn't figured that out. Okay, so
It's kind of unfortunate.
if you can open up a terminal, then
Um, oh,
just because
yeah.
that'll set it up. So if you create a folder for whatever you want for your
Mhm.
for this project that we're making. Okay. Move with Greg. Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go into that. And then what you can do is you can type aptos move init -- name and then move with Greg or whatever. That's the package name. Okay, so now you have a folder, and if you look at it, you can see there's a move.toml, sources, scripts, tests.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can open that up in like a VS Code, that folder.
Yeah. There's something wrong with my VS Code um, uh, CLI plugin. I'm usually able to just type in code space dot, but it's not working now.
Okay, so all right, so here's your move.toml file. This is I don't know if you've programmed with Rust, but it's fairly similar to how Rust would be, where this you can see has the name of the package and then addresses, dev addresses, dependencies, etc. So what you want to do is put under addresses and come up with the name of an address like adder or something like that equals, and then put in quotes an underscore. So what this provides is sort of a placeholder for being able to fill in your address that you're actually going to deploy to later on.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now let's go to the sources folder.
All right.
And create a new file. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we're going to call it, I don't know, main.move or something like that.
Main.move. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a move extension.
There isn't a move extension, so let's try that
Right.
out. So it should be called Move Analyzer. Not that one.
Yeah.
Move Analyzer, it's the
This one?
search Aptos. It's either that one or if you can search Aptos, because I haven't used VS Code, so
Yeah.
some of these are SWE named ones. Yeah, try that one. And it gets really confusing because the move language dialect is different for it, but kind of jumped on the namespacing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now.
It says it couldn't execute.
Yeah, it needs a language server. You have to follow a bunch of instructions, which is why I kind of skipped through it now.
Okay.
But maybe it'll provide some highlighting. So now what you want to do is type in module, that ADDR : and then the name of the module that you want. So we'll call it main just to be simple. No space in between. Yeah. And then curly braces. So this is the definition for your module.
Okay.
And let's start with a simple function so that at least we have some of the syntax going on.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to have to program entirely from my mind. So, all right. Fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. But this is the whole point of these things, right? So
yeah.
Just kind of chill and kick it and try to see how to make it work. Yeah.
It reminds me of a coding interview. Okay, so
yeah, it does feel that way.
So what you can do here is let's make an entry function so you can call from somewhere else. So type entry space fun, and then let's see, test. Parentheses in. What we want to put in the parentheses is a signer.
Oh.
Yeah. Signer. Oh, actually, let's call it account. So account colon ampersand signer.
Colon space ampersand.
Yep. Signer. So signer is a special type in Move. So what that is essentially it's an account that signed the transaction.
Okay.
So if you have one account that signed the transaction, you have one. If you have 5 of them, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do things on each of those accounts.
Right. I realize that there's something that we kind of neglected to inform people, which is about the Aptos CLI. And I have it installed before, but you could install the Aptos CLI from the Aptos website.
Yeah, I can go and get the link
for
it.
Share the link. Yeah. So I realized we didn't really.
Yeah, so the Aptos CLI is, let me just quickly say, the Aptos CLI is sort of like the approach for how you can do a one-stop tool for creating accounts, submitting transactions, compiling, there's testing, coverage, etc. for the Aptos blockchain.
Yeah, so I'm seeing there's different tools for account configs, Genesis.
Yeah, it lets you do. Yeah, so that was actually so you can start your own blockchain. So the tools are all made. So if you really do want to start your own blockchain, you can, and have a different chain ID. It was originally built for Genesis. It still works because we run some test networks that we restart every week, specifically running that, as well as that way we have a test bed for new features to run, etc.
Nice. Yeah, it's an easy way to do things. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. So yeah, from the Aptos CLI, that's how you install it, everyone. So you could follow along once you install that. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got our code. We've got our code here
Yeah.
for. Actually, this is the simplest function you can write. You can actually have it without the signer, but you can actually call this transaction directly. So yeah, delete that comma, and we're going to try to deploy this, and so we can at least run a function and show you how
Okay.
compile, publish, and run the function, and then we'll get to building a real program.
Okay. Cool.
So if you save this and let's go to the terminal again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're in this
Yeah.
directory, great. So what you can do is type, well, first you have to create an account. So we're going to type aptos init. No account, just aptos init. So what this
Okay.
does is initialize the CLI. So if you put enter there, it's going to ask you what network you want to run on. Just hit enter. I'll use DevNet.
DevNet.
Yeah, or you can just hit enter and it'll default. So
yeah.
Enter, hit enter. It'll generate a key for you.
I just enter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then here you go. You've got an account on DevNet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the address, and it's giving you a couple APT to work with. Simple as that.
Nice. Cool.
Okay.
So this is the account here.
Yep.
Oh, and it's given me 10,000
Octas, which are subunits of APT. So
okay.
it's one, two, three, four. So it's giving you one APT. So 8 zeros is
one APT.
one APT. Yeah.
Cool. Can you also generate this for me on mainnet?
Yeah. So you can just put in mainnet. If you type aptos init again, it'll reset this one and create on mainnet. Additionally, if you want extra, like you want multiple profiles, so this is your default one, you can always do aptos init -- profile and then put in whatever name you want.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. So I'll show you why it's super easy. It's super nice for this later.
Okay.
All right. So you've got your account. You've got money on DevNet to be able to deploy. So what you can type is aptos move publish. And then what this will do is it'll compile it. It'll pull down some Git dependencies, compile it. Unfortunately, these are kind of large. Still trying to figure out a way to make that better.
Yeah.
And what it's going to do is
any fast internet, but let's see how this goes.
Yeah. One thing, then it'll fail compilation after this, but I'll explain why. Because before I told you put that underscore under adder, right? And that was specifically for a placeholder. So the reason for that is at compilation time, currently you need to know the address that is put at the top of that file where it says adder module. You can put an address there, but that means you have every time you change your address has changed. So this message tells you, hey, you can put it in this space or whatever, but what you can do here is go back and to aptos move publish
define. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll explain to you what you can do instead. So if you type aptos move publish and then space -- named addresses. And space adder equals and then default, which is what the profile you just created.
Okay.
So you can put the address there, but it's like 64 hex characters is really long. So what you can do is you can actually put any name of those profiles that I said you create into this.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right.
And that's it?
Yeah, and hit enter there and it should work now.
Boom.
Yep, and so now what it does, it actually simulates a transaction and tells you the estimated gas price. So if your code won't publish for some reason, it'll tell you the error. And as you can see above, there's the compilation messages about some warnings, but that's fine. So hit yes, type in yes and enter. Yep. And there you go. So now, hey, we've got our transaction. Your contract is actually on chain right now.
Okay,
Really
cool.
simple.
Cool.
And there's actually the hash that shows you, right, the hash for looking up an Explorer where it's been deployed. But let's go and try to run this function that you just created, just as a really simple example.
All right. There's
So
an
there are two.
Explorer inside?
Yeah,
There's a
you can.
Explorer?
Yeah, you can do it in the Explorer.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. That sounds good. All
It'll
right,
be a
let me.
little bit easier than the CLI probably.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Um,
Just make sure you have to copy your address.
yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Let me get you
I'm
the.
just bringing a browser window across. I'm assuming this is where you want me to look at it, right? What's the URL?
Go ahead. I posted in a little private chat the URL for DevNet.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay, so I'm just gonna push this up here. Uh,
And the actual great thing about this Explorer is it works with the CLI, which I didn't get you to do today.
yeah.
Can run a node locally, a full test network locally, and then the Explorer actually works with it too. So it's really nice
Oh,
there.
this would be able to connect to my local instance.
Yeah, which is really nice.
All right.
So
So
go ahead and paste your address in the Search Explorer bar there. Yeah, that one.
this one.
No, the second one. So the first one is the hash of the transaction, but it's a little
Mhm.
bit easier if you get the address there.
Oh,
So go ahead and paste it into the search. It's in the middle. Down some.
all right. Okay.
Yeah. I
Cool.
go ahead and click on that.
All right.
Okay. Interesting. So now you can see here, hey, there's the entry function. This is the code. It actually shows up and tells you the code directly
Yeah.
here because it uploads the source by default. And there's the API below. So what you can do is you click run. And I now realize you don't have a
Aptos wallet.
wallet probably set up. Yeah. So what you can do is download Petra wallet to try do it
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you go to the top, actually, if you go back to the Aptos Explorer,
Mm-hmm.
and then go click on the upper right, connect wallet,
Mm-hmm.
and then just click install under Petra. So this is the one I'm most familiar with, which is why I suggest it. Just click create new wallet and click through all that stuff and it should be fine. And just to everyone who's on the live stream, you're not going to be able to steal his funds if you see his secret phrase, because I'm assuming he's not going to use this for anything else.
Yeah.
All right.
Well. Yeah.
Well, if you do, create a new one. Yeah.
No.
I think,
Well, I don't
yeah,
even.
because
Yeah.
you have to. I think you have
Throw.
to click on it and copy it to the next page. So
Yeah.
click copy at the bottom,
Copy. Okay.
and then click continue.
Okay.
Because it's one of those where it, yeah, they changed it.
Yeah. And which is this is more secure.
Yeah.
So just have it
Oh,
on.
there's a skip button. There's a skip button, I think, right?
Yeah. Sure.
On the
Which
upper
would
right of it, I think there's a
one,
skip button that you
two,
can skip
three,
out.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which word is in your 12? Oh,
Is there a skip button in the upper right hand corner?
there's a skip. You want to skip it?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, don't as a normal user, you don't want to do that, but it's fine. And click done.
I just click done.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So now if we go back to the other, we can go back to the other page.
Okay.
And refresh the page, I think. I think it needs to identify the Petri wallet. All right, now if we click Connect Wallet and click Connect, it's going to have you approve that to login. All right, and then I think we need to go up to the extension to change it to DevNet.
Okay. This is a point which I show my favorite browser, which is Arc browser, which just makes life a lot easier.
Okay, so if you go click Settings
It's a bit smaller.
and go to Network and change that to DevNet. Okay, so now we're all in the same place. You can click Home, click Faucet, so you have some funds.
Yeah.
All right, so now you can do stuff on chain. All right, yeah, it says error, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, so now if you go back,
one APT that was generated before, so
yeah. So they generated. If you can keep on clicking that, you get more APT.
yeah, but there's a problem. All right, cool.
It's saying error at the bottom, but you see your balance.
Oh yeah, it's actually
there's something else going on there. That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
So if we go back to the main page
and
you click the Run button here, and you see on the left it says your test function. So you can click that, and you can actually just click Run. And here it says everything about, and then done. Look, perfect. You ran your first transaction.
Boom, and just like that, I am a Move developer, everybody. I'll be adding this to my bio, and I will be adding it to my resume as well.
Yeah, and you're going to get a job tomorrow writing empty functions.
Basically. ChatGPT could fill in the rest, right?
Yeah.
Not
all right, so now we're going to go and make something more interesting. Okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much for that intro, though. It was very useful.
Yeah, and normally I would suggest people like, hey, go take a look at the tutorials, which are going to be much more involved and explain things that there. But I don't think we have time to do the end-to-end tutorial about how to build a D app, because that tells you how to build a to-do list, and then you need TypeScript.
You need TypeScript and all of that, yeah.
Somewhere to deploy it. It's a different problem. So, all right, so let's go back to Move and let's build something more fun.
Yeah, let's just do nice, cool, smart contracts.
Let's say we want to make a message board or something like that. So what we can do is we have to leave this function, by the way, here, because it provides backwards compatibility. So upgrades of the contract require the signature not to change. So in this case, this function has to stay there. Actually, no, it's a private function, so you can delete it, but we're going to just leave it there for the purposes of this.
What do you mean a private function? What makes it private or public?
So if you put the word public before, it becomes public. Otherwise, it's technically what I call private. It's technically not in the literature that's private. But if you put public in front, every public function, because it can be called by another contract, has to follow compatibility rules. So the purposes of that being, if I deploy this contract on chain, and then I walk away for 2 years, and I come back and I say, I don't like this function, and I delete it, somebody else's contract that's using it shouldn't just break.
Yeah, 100%. And because it's on a blockchain and all these things, it should.
Yeah.
And
because, it's on a blockchain, it's permissionless, and using the static dispatch, you have to know the things that you're going to call. And if they disappear, you're not happy.
So would it be safe to say that then that you have that these contracts are not immutable, like Move contracts are not immutable by default, like in a sense, in the same way that like a Solidity would be, where it's just a single contract? I mean, you have upgradable proxies and all those things.
These contracts are immutable. So one of the big things about Move that was important was making sure that they are upgradable, because having immutable contracts leads to a lot of sticky points where you decide, I messed something up, but I can't fix it. And because there's no dynamic dispatch, you can't have these proxy contracts necessarily. But you can make, what you can have, if you really want, is you can make a another contract that calls this one, and it is a proxy contract where you just you upgrade the proxy instead of upgrade the code. So you can do that.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you mean.
But
And
it's
then
not quite the same.
it's not quite the same dynamic paradigm, I guess. All right, cool. That makes sense. All right, so let's add some meat to this.
Yeah. So let's make a message board, or at least a single message. So what we can do is create a struct. So if you type in struct message board, and then curly braces. Okay. So then we want to add a string, like a message to this board. So we say maybe put the name of the string first. So I guess I forgot to mention this. All of them are name colon then type. So message colon, and then the type for string is 0x1 colon string.
0x1.
Yep. Colon string. Colon uppercase string. Like uppercase S lowercase tring.
Like this?
No, lowercase for everything after the S. So by convention, move modules or move types, they go by this, where the modules are usually lowercase, as you can see here with undercase string, and then the types are usually uppercase and then lower, like the uppercase first letter and then lowercase.
Okay, so the anatomy of this 0x1 what does it represent?
So that's the address. So the framework address is 0x1, and actually I realized I think you have to import it. So what you can do underneath module.
Oh, underneath. Okay.
Yeah. Use space Aptos underscore framework colon string, and then a semicolon. A semicolon, not a colon. Yeah. Okay. So it's very Rust-like syntax. And then you can delete down below. You have 0x1 colon delete that. So that'll get rid of the address. You don't need that anymore because you're importing string and then string.
Oh, string and then the type. Okay.
Yeah. So you can import either the type directly or just that, and we're going to use it like that because it's more portable. All right. So now we've got a struct. This is a message board which defines a string that's inside it. So there's only one message, and that's fine for now. There's only one message.
Do you want to add a timestamp?
Yeah, we can add a timestamp. Go ahead. So, time U64.
U64.
Yep, and then make sure there's a comma after the previous string.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That's
and then, so now we're going to have a timestamp and a message to show when it changed. And then, so now we have a struct. We can store this anywhere, except that it needs specific properties to tell you what you're using it for. So in this case, struct message board, we want to put after struct message board, up above on the struct definition, struct message board, on the same line. Line 7.
Yeah.
At the end of the line, right before the curly brace.
Yeah.
So space has key.
Has key.
So what this tells you is that it has the ability to be used as a key in global storage.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. So now let's write a new function to be able to read it. So we're going to do a new entry function down here. So make it entry function, entry fun new or something like that for a new message. Yep.
Any message.
And then we're going to put that account signer back there. And then now we want to put our message. So do the message string again. And you don't need to put the timestamp because we have a rich on-chain timestamp system.
Okay.
So, and I'll actually look up what the name of the function is because I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, all right. So now we've got a function.
Mm-hmm.
creating a new message. So what we have to do here is we are going to use the messages in the account that you are calling it with. So what you first want to do is you need to check that the message board exists.
Okay.
So what we want to do is put if open parenthesis exists, and then put in angle brackets next to exists. The message board you had above. Okay, and then another after the angle brackets, another parentheses.
After the angle brackets, another parentheses. Okay.
Yep, and then we're going to be really cheat here and just put adder there, ADDR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you have to put curly braces after the if. Actually, let's put not exists. So put a exclamation point before exists. So what this is saying, hey, I'm global storage. At my address, I don't have the message board.
Yeah.
So then what I will do is the key part of move, which is say move _2. Sorry, TO, not 2. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, maybe you should alias that. Okay. Put parentheses and put in inside the parentheses account colon, and then you want to create a message board struct. Sorry, a comma.
Account or message board. Yeah.
Message board, and then put curly braces because we're going to define the struct.
We're defining it here again.
Yep.
Oh, outside
Oh,
the
so inside, like
Inside.
a instantiation of it. Okay. And then now you have to put message and time. So you do message colon, actually just message comma, because they're named the same. It figures it out. And then for time colon, and then I'm trying to find the timestamp. Timestamp. Now so time colon space
space
timestamp colon now _ seconds, and then parentheses. Wow. That's it. So that's the timestamp. So now we have this new module that we're using for timestamp. So you have to go up at the top where you have the imports and put use Aptos framework colon timestamp after that. All right. So now what this is, now when we look at this function, right, creates a new message, and if you don't have a message board ready, then it will move to the message board to the account specifically. Yeah. But we obviously need to handle when it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So the else, yep. Curly braces. Okay, so now we know that it exists. So what you can do is this different function called borrow.
Borrow?
This type borrow. Global _ MUT for mutable.
Yeah.
Okay. Which you need the address for. Okay, so put adder, and then I think you need to put, in the borrow global mute, put the angle brackets message board right before the parentheses. Similar to what you did for exist. All right. I need a semicolon at the end of that line. And I now realize at the end of line 16, you also need a semicolon.
Line 16. Oh, yeah, right.
Okay. So borrow global mute, that'll borrow from the global storage, a mutable version, a mutable reference. So in Rust, you have mutable references, very
Yeah.
similar. So
Yeah.
put a variable on the left side, which will be like let board equals borrow global mute. All right. Now we have the board. So then just say board.message equals message and semicolon in the line, and then board dot time, and then the same timestamp call from before. Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. So this will let you create the data on chain, but we're going to do one more really quick function to be able to read it as well. So what I want you to put is a pound and then square brackets, and then put side view. Oh, sorry, view inside view. Oh man,
We're moving.
Okay, and then new line, put public fun view message or something like that.
View message.
Yeah. And then you remember seeing the borrow global mute line, so just copy that borrow global mute line.
Yeah. Are we assigning it to a variable?
Yeah, include the variable, because we're just going to pull a single. And then what you can do is, okay, so it's view message, then put colon, so public phone view message, there's parentheses, put colon message board to say that you're returning the message board as a type.
Sorry? Say that again. I was
Yeah,
reading.
so go back up to line 25.
Yeah, line 25. Okay.
At the end, put colon, and then message board. No angle brackets or anything. So that's your return type.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what you can do is say return star board, so that dereferences the type.
Star board. Okay.
And put a semicolon. Okay. So, or actually, you don't need a return or a semicolon because it's like Rust. It returns the last thing in the line. Anyways,
yeah.
So now we can compile it, and it's going to give you some errors. I know what the errors are, but I want to show it as an example.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aptos move publish. We'll do a compile. You can also compile without the publish, but no.
Well, let's do the compile first before we publish.
Okay, yeah. So it's the same command. So Aptos move compile with that named addresses field from before. Yeah, see, so it's complaining all this stuff. You don't have these addresses and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Invalid start name. Oh, I didn't realize they enforced that. So you have to capitalize the beginning of message board.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize it actually enforced that.
Okay. But at least that's
okay. And then you have like 3 other issues. So after has key.
After has key, yeah.
I'll put a comma and put copy, and then comma drop. So what these do is provide 2 other properties, where key lets you store it in global storage, copy lets you copy the variable from a reference, and drop lets you drop it at the end. So for the view function, in order to provide it as a type, it has to be able to copy and drop.
Very Rust. Very, very Rust. Okay, cool.
I know, it's very Rust. The creators like Rust.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and then we can go and try compiling it again, and it's going to complain about something else. All right, so it's saying adder is not an address, and it's saying, okay, so some minor things. You got a space in between exists in the angle bracket.
Okay.
Okay, and then for every time you use adder, you have to put a at sign in front of it.
Okay. Let me see how many times we're using it.
But not at the very top.
Not at all, yeah.
Okay. So what that the at in front basically says this is an address.
Yeah. Denotes an address. Okay.
All right, let's do it again.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully less errors now.
And it's going to complain.
Oh, only one.
Okay. Yeah, so this is an easy one. It's going to complain about something else too after this. But
okay.
So that's what I was saying. I guess it's more strict. Just remove the semicolon and remove return. So the last line is very Rust-like. It returns the value if you don't put a semicolon.
So just remove that.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's going to say you're missing acquires annotation. So if we go back to the code one last time, and I think this should be it.
Yeah.
So each function that takes in, that borrows this message board has to specifically specify it, which is actually something that I think we're trying to get rid of. So after the return type for view message, so after the message board, space acquires message board, and no comma, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then just copy that and paste it also up for the entry function as well.
Okay. And what does this acquires do?
So what it's doing, it's an annotation that tells me that, hey, in this function, I'm borrowing this type from global storage.
Okay. Am I borrowing? Am I borrowing like the reference or just the?
You're borrowing the reference, and you can actually do things where there's another call called move from, and you can actually take the item out of global storage.
Right. Okay.
All right. Yeah, and it was warning from before, but all right, it compiled. Congrats. You're a move developer.
No, move dev. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's publish it.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. And if you see it costs a little bit more because it's publishing more source. All right. So now we can just go back to the Explorer again.
Oh, wow. It's the same address.
Yeah. It upgrades the same address. So if you refresh this page, you'll see that your code is all upgraded, right? Look at that. Which is super nice. So now what we can do is we can go run to the run tab. And yeah, here you can see, you can type in whatever message you want for the string here. So type in like, your name or whatever you want. Click run.
Yeah.
Hopefully you remember your password. I sometimes forget it. All right.
Yeah, I put something silly and then I decided to actually.
Okay, so then now like you can look at the transaction, but so if you click view transaction on this drop down, oh well, it's gone, but that's fine. Go click view. Click the view tab.
Yeah.
So remember we made that function that has view above it. That's a view function for reading. So if we click this, just click view. What's it say? Because I can't read it.
To borrow, say something.
Missing data. Huh. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll what we can do is we can go to your address. So,
Let's see. Let's see if the transaction. Oh, no transaction has been noted here.
interesting. This must be something wrong with the DevNet indexer. All right. Well, you can click resources.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can scroll down. On the outside, yeah. Keep going down. Okay. So I guess your transaction failed.
Yeah, I think it did.
Interesting.
Let's try running it again. You mind if you run it again?
Yeah. Go for it. And click run.
I see there's a generic error.
So with that, so what this does, by the way, is it's simulating the transaction and saying that the transaction is not going to work. So the previous transaction worked, and this one didn't. So let's see what's going on here. Let's go back to the code, and we're going to change something in it.
Okay.
Okay. Exists message board adder. Okay, so if we technically
did it the first time, but it's not able to view it again. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So let me see. Exists message board move to. So it moves it the first time, and then the second time it doesn't seem to be able to borrow it from the address. Okay. So let's go and run it from the command line, because I think that something is running funny from the wall experience.
That's really good, yeah.
So what you can do is type aptos move run, and then space dash. So then it's going to tell you, hey, do dash function ID. And normally you would have to type in that whole address, but you can cheat, like I said, by using the profile name. So space default ::.
So okay, let's move Aptos to move run, then
So function ID.
Function ID.
You don't need the named addresses anymore.
Function ID.
I think you need a dash instead of underscore.
Yeah.
And then space, and then default. That's your profile name, : . And I think you named your module main with an up, and then : , and then the function name, which was
New
message. Yeah. Okay. So now you need to provide the arguments to be able to run the function. So dash args space, and then I couldn't figure out how best to do this, but basically you have to encode them. So you say like string : , and then blah or something like that. So just put any string there.
Just like that.
Yep, and then space. And I think that was the only input argument. So hit enter. And then, so the simulation is working. So there doesn't seem to be any issue there. So
how come this costs more gas to write to this than it is to create the contract? Yeah.
So it costs gas based on the number of storage slots and the things that are being built. I don't actually know what the difference in the cost is there, but creating code doesn't create a storage slot, and there's some different gas calibration associated with it. So now you can click view, and then this should show up correctly.
Boom, it worked. So we lost this transaction, but I guess it's because of the if-else weirdness.
Well, actually, I can tell you exactly why. I took a shortcut in your code because I wanted to make it go faster. So if we go back to the code, I'll show you what happened. So right now you see how there's this @adder, and that is the address of the publishing address. So that's the one that's in your CLI, but you have a different one in your wallet, right? And in Petra.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is that you can't publish anything to that account on purpose, right?
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't publish it across one to the other because otherwise, right, I would just be able to write random stuff in your account and you don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that this works is you have to have the signer actually be used for signing that a message. I'm not sure why it worked the first time. I think you somehow skipped past the simulation. I don't know how that worked. Um, but what we can do is we can add a line of code here to change it so everyone has their own message board.
Okay. I am at time because I have a hard stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah.
Okay, but there you go. You've got a message board for one account. You can put anything up. This is actually the first tutorial
Yeah.
for Aptos on my first transaction or my first
Okay. Cool.
move module.
Nah, I've really enjoyed this. This was really great. Yeah. So I do think we need to do a follow-up stream where we go into something a bit more beefy.
Okay.
And we could like explore things that more technical. But this has been really great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Makes you want to keep doing this. Yeah. So I'm going to keep
Yeah,
hacking.
let me know when the next stream is, and we can totally do something more technical. I'll walk you through a tutorial that actually builds something like a DEX or something else.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Let's definitely do that. But I've really enjoyed this. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, share, like, subscribe, whatever those people content creators say. But yeah, thanks so much, Greg, for taking the time to meet with us. This has been really, really excellent. I mean, I won't add move to my resume just yet, but like
Okay.
maybe by the end of the next stream, I might be able to.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Thanks. You have a good day. Thanks everybody for watching and participating. This has been a really excellent session of Protocol Explorer live streams. Remember that we have the Avail episode coming out at the end of this week. So we have another live stream with two people who have to box themselves for the sake of the stream. So it'll be really interesting. Chilling with Kadek and Naruto. And yeah, we're going to dive into all things Avail. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.